Okay, well, it's interesting talking about trends because I think when we think about e-learning trends or trends in any industry really, we're seeing quite a long tail. You know, there's the comet burning up the front with the new trends, but the tail is how it drags back over the years. So I think probably what we're seeing now is a couple of different activities. We're seeing those people up the front who are blazing the trail. We're seeing back at the very far end, people just coming onto the e-learning business who realize that there's a way of offering their training online. And in the middle, we've got those people who perhaps are thinking better ways to provide e-learning content, new ideas, new concepts, new technologies, new trends. But up the front, which is where I tend to work, is those people blazing the trail, what's going to happen in the future, where the things are going. And so if I could just tell you what I think are sort of three key trends that I'm seeing, certainly within the organizations I'm working with, they are thinking perhaps a little bit beyond e-learning, beyond creating content, the next step. And the first thing I'm seeing is they're thinking much more about moving towards a focus on learning per se to a focus on performance. And by that I mean that they're thinking not just in creating a learning solution for a problem, but really understanding what a performance issue is all about, doing an analysis of what the real problems are and finding all kinds of solutions that might solve it. And these might not well be learning solutions, they might be all kinds of solutions. So thinking much more about the way the business operates and the business needs and how they can address those, perhaps, as I say, not through learning solutions. So we're now seeing people move towards thinking about performance support rather than creating courses. And by that I mean really creating job aids or reference guides to help people address their needs on the job. So if they have a problem, they can understand how to solve them immediately without having to take a course, for instance. So performance is really becoming quite high on the agenda. Business problems, how we can support them in many different ways. The second trend I'm seeing is actually one moving from a focus on managing learning, you know, creating, delivering and managing it in a learning management system, to enabling it in much wider ways. And understanding that learning doesn't just happen in a course, but happens every day in the workplace as people do their jobs. So some of the ways I'm seeing people do that is actually using their new enterprise social tools to do that. And they're using them to host perhaps communities for their training problems or their training courses. They're also using them for social onboarding to help people get up and running in the company straight away. And they're also using them to actually help support the teams to work and learn together by sharing their knowledge, experiences, resources and so forth. And this is a really big new area of work. And I think that takes me on to the third trend, because this trend is much more about moving from teaching old skills to supporting the new skills of the business. And these new skills are about how we can work together, how we can learn together, how we can share, collaborate, communicate with one another. Now, for some people who have been out on the social web doing this, been many years now, it's quite natural for them. But for many others, where they now are faced with a social networking inside their organization or a collaboration platform, don't actually have those skills. So how can we help to support those skills? And it's not about training people to be social, because I don't think you can do that. You can't train people to be social. You can train them perhaps to use the technology, but helping them to be social, helping them to collaborate means helping them be more confident and competent in sharing stuff, and also collaborating productively and purposefully with one another. So I think the trends are going to be much more perhaps from pushing lots of content downstream to helping people with these new skills they're going to require. And a further skill that I haven't mentioned, which is going to be important, is a skill of personal knowledge management. And that's where people can actually become more self-directed, go out to the web, find the stuff they need, bring it into the organization, because that is something, again, that many people are doing already, but for others it's going to be a brand new way of working, that they are going to need to become self-directed, self-managed and self-organized. After all, L&D can't possibly provide everything everyone needs in the business all the time. So people are going to have to acquire these new skills to come out and do that for themselves. So these are the new three trends that I'm seeing. These are only up front in that trailing blaze of the comet. Are going to take a bit of while to come downstream, I think, but certainly I think this is going to be the future for learning and development. But it means a new mindset, new approaches, new tools and technologies. So for me, that's the exciting new future of L&D.